Now, as you all may see, we have left the desert behind, as the company part of Chroma Company has spotted a great, some sort of great desert beast crawling through the sands, and has made a plan to interact with it. I'm presuming in some fashion, and we can get to that in the following, whenever our next Tuesday is. I mean, if y'all are free. It's my summer break, but I'm still willing to pop out on a Tuesday as long as I'm available. That said, I mean, y'all have had a long rest, and as you've been hunting for blood and supplies for the ship along the way, you're welcome for those of you who get to shuffle up your spells. Selter, we all know you cast. I know you keep trying to deny it, so if you need to remem your spells in a battle suite, you're welcome to do so.
Addy, that joke's gone long enough. Everybody knows I don't cast.
That's because you cast a spell on us to make us think that. You can't get out of this.
It's called modify memory.
Yeah.
What?
Exactly. See? Proof! So now we zoom south. Well, southwest, actually. We zoom southwest across the deserts of Aslandia at breakneck speed across this inner sea and to the island of Mesomasca, where the clouds part as we continue to zoom in on Mask of Horns, which is one of the largest cities in Mesomasca. Very populated, very, well, I would say diverse. For a city, it's diverse because it has, it's a big trading post and such, but it is a majority tiefling city. And so just tens of thousands of tieflings are making up the predominant population here. And as you'd expect, like with anyone, they all shapes and sizes and colors and the pupils, no pupils. They're all dressed in very interesting and fun attire. Ooh, pardon me. Who think drinking a soda would make you burp? Who invented that? That's dumb. Anyway, so we're in Mask of Flowers, and because this is a large urban area, if you go outside, a mask is necessary as per law. And we had Norallie and Bright, who are doing some investigation, taking on jobs, and this is where we're going to pick up. With you two, some time has passed. There has still been no contact to or from your lost friends, but Bright, it sounded like you're making some plans for a circumstance that hopefully doesn't come to pass, but And Norallie, you're looking for your brother. And so as we pick up, you had Mr. Halver, a.k.a. Delis of the Blue Flame. He was going to stick around for at least another week or so another sort of downtime session, if you wanted to access him or incorporate him into your plans. Otherwise, we have some more things to do. And ball's in your court.
Okay. Well, I do really want to talk to Mr. Halvard Ellis. It's really important that I mean, I came all this way to see him, and now I have even more. I mean, I'm kind of confused, but I still want to talk to him. I don't know if it'll make me more confused or less. It seems like things he says, they don't really make maximum sense. So anyway, yeah. But I also think that should be able to. I mean, wherever her brother's going, he's not. I mean, he's going every day. He gets farther away, so she needs to find him before he gets too far and we lose the trail again.
Okay. Let's do this then, Norallie. If I recall correctly, you still have 2 uses of some friendly contacts from your initial, retouching bases with people that know you and that you know here in Mask of Horns. Would you like to invoke one of those to continue the search for your brother? Are you doing something differently? Tell me what you would like to do for this next period of time. And Mr. Halver is available if you want to incorporate him into this.
Dark Wolf, you're muted.
Yep.
Oh, good. That wasn't just me then.
Oh. We might have a technical difficulty.
She only has drawings, no sound.
Yeah.
We'll have to play charades for her character today.
Send help. Okay.
Dictionary.
So while Dark Wolf is is figuring that out, Bright, you want to have a conversation with Dallas to try and figure some things out.
I do.
And so he is going to be in his library and studying various books. Many of them aren't really even labeled, at least not in a coherent fashion that you're used to.
Yeah, that's not too surprising. A lot of times books aren't, because sometimes the label is printed on the little sleeve and then that gets lost.
It should be where.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there she is.
I don't know what happened.
What's that?
So
I don't know what happened.
Hmm.
My mic was on the whole time, so
Well, hey, it's working now.
yeah.
I won't jinx it. Bright, what would you like to talk to Dallas about?
well, I have so many questions. So I don't remember what I was gonna bring him. I remember we talked about something, but it was a long time ago, and I don't remember what it was that I was gonna bring him. But it was something. I don't remember. But anyway, I guess I'll just try to go into the library. Before I sneak up on him, I definitely want to cast a detect magic. I'll cast that as a ritual.
Sure.
I want to see if he's glowing, or if he's carrying lots of things that are glowing, or if there's any books in the library that are glowing, or candles that are glowing. I mean, not in the way that candles are normally glowing.
Sure. Tell you what, as you do this, go ahead and make, either an investigation or a perception.
Okay, that'll be an investigation probably. Give me 1 second. I forgot to bring my character sheet today. Here's do that.
Hey. All right. As you invoke this this spell to look around you, you are seeing that there are magical. There's a lot of different magical auras on the things here, and as you look, like, even on one of the bookshelves, that's okay. Wait a minute. The different books that are glowing magical spell out, yes, they're magic.
It's kind of interesting. What is it written in common or is it written in a fun language?
This would be no, it would be written in common.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. I like that he has a sense of humor. It's fun.
It has a gnomish aesthetic, but it's written in common, presumably so more people can understand it.
Yeah, okay. That's okay. I guess he knows magic aura tricks too. Okay, so I would like to go up to him and I'll see if he's how busy he looks. Is he
He's sitting at the chair here, looking over papers. has some ink and an ink pen, and is sort of drawing on them here.
Okay. So I'll go up to him, and I'm not going to sneak up behind him because that's not very nice. I'll just come up to him normally, and I'll hop up and I'll sit in
Oh, bright.
this
Thank
chair
you.
here. I noticed you were writing, and I just wondered what you were writing.
I'm not so much writing as I am, I guess, drawing. I'm trying to draw inspiration,
He
and
takes after me.
sometimes, well,
Drawing inspiration. Um,
I'm making lines and circles on these pages, and I'm trying to see, I don't know, maybe a pattern would come up. Coincidence, not coincidence, something. But I have a series of notes, and I honestly don't know if they're connected, but I'm hoping that the ink and sheer circumstance might be able to reveal something. You know, you can learn a great deal if you just open yourself up to whatever the world has to offer you. Something I've tried to instill in Norallie, especially because, well, of her unique gift. She needs to be a little bit more open than others.
yeah. So speaking of unique gifts, and things that the world throws at you, that's actually also a thing that I'm kind of speaking of. So I came a long way, and I think you know that I'm a big fan of your book, which I've conveniently brought here. Although I'm sure you've seen it before because you wrote it.
Yes,
Um,
yes. It's always good to see it again, though. It reminds me of the things that I wrote down.
So, um, I feel like you should have written about me in this book because I have a thing, and it's a strange thing, and it's also, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. And I used to think it was a bad thing, but now I'm not sure. And maybe you can tell me. I don't know what you can tell me. Maybe you can tell me where it comes from, or maybe what I should do with it. I don't even know anymore. When I came here, I thought I just wanted you to tell me how to get rid of it, but now I don't know.
Well, what's the thing? Present it right here on the table.
Okay, so I'll lie down on the table.
Oh. Are you comfortable?
Lee, I'll get back up again.
All right, so now you're making eye-to-eye contact with him as he's standing on the table.
Yeah. Okay. So I have this thing where I see the future.
Oh.
Future. Yeah, and it's not. I mean, a lot of people say they wish they could see the future, but it's not really all it's cracked up to be. Especially because I don't control the parts of the future that I see. Like if I saw, like, which horse was going to win the next race, that might be fun. See that. Instead, I see like bad things that are about to happen to people, and then they always happen, and it doesn't matter if I try to stop them or not. Then I'm involved. If you're involved in too many bad things, people start to bad things.
Yes, well, Bright. I can't say I'm sorry because it's a fantastic gift that you have, and it's certainly not a curse. I hope you understand that. As much as it may feel to be a curse, and as much as many consider it to be a curse, you may even consider it to be a curse. I don't.
That's nice. So the problem is that lots of people do. And so I had to leave home because of that. And so I went to, it was the only, I mean, there's a great library in Octa. It's probably where that's where I found your book.
Yes.
And they teach wizarding there, and one of the things they teach is divination. So I studied that in the hopes I would learn, but I didn't learn how it works.
I would argue that you do know how it works. I don't think it's something that anyone can necessarily teach you. You just have to experience it. You have to be that which you have, Bright.
Yeah.
I'd ask if that makes sense, but not all the time our conversations like this are meant to.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was worried about, actually. But I mean, you've described it as a gift, and you've cataloged all kinds of funny things. Yeah, but did you ever figure out where they came from? I mean, a lot of the things in the book weren't me, but there were some that were almost like me.
Yes, well, Bright, you are an aspiring, beautiful young woman of, 200, I believe?
Not quite, not quite.
Oh, almost.
Yeah, so, they say you should never ask someone their age, but you also probably shouldn't guess at it.
Oh, well, I assure you I'm much older, Bright, so, you can guess mine if you'd like, although I doubt you'll get the answer.
4,000.
Not too bad. See, it's a gift. I have to be careful with that. Sometimes it's something about your people, Bright, that is just, it makes them absolutely just so lovely to be around. I've spent quite a long time in Ukt. A good portion of my age, in fact. I'm not saying that the library owes me a lot, but it's because I haven't asked. Anyway, your conundrum comes because you are a willful woman. And you have such an empathy towards not just the small creatures of this world, or perhaps that's because that's what it is. I suppose your concept of what a small creature could be is dependent on your perspective. So perhaps your ability to communicate with what you may consider to be small animals compared to you extends even beyond those creatures into a caring and compassion for other people around you. Even ones that you may not favor, yet are still existent, people who are still a part of this world that you yourself walk. You seek knowledge and understanding. You seek to find things of beauty in the world. You seek to learn, and, well, if I'm not mistaken, you sought to love as well in your life. By the way, I'm not available, Bright.
That's okay. You're a little too tall for me.
Well, I can fix that, but...
No, that seems like the sort of thing that could go wrong. But lots of my people can talk to little animals. That's not rare. Gnomes are pretty nice, especially forest gnomes. We're about each other, and that's how we do things. It's not how much you have or who you are. It's what you give away. That's the most important thing among us, and I'm the only one who has this.
Mm-hmm. And it's a beautiful, unique gift, my dear Bright. You know what? I believe a change of perspective is in order. I've been sitting in front of these notes for far too long. I'm not seeing anything, and he motions down, and there's some lines, and there's some, like, circles and some squares, things that look like he's kind of been idly doodling. Tell you what, Bright, why don't you and I, we go on a bit of a constitutional together in order to try and find perspective on our lives. Are you open for that?
Yeah, as long as it's safe.
Yes. It is safe as long as you are competent.
Okay, that's fine. I am sure you understand that I'm just a little, because of what happened to some friends of mine.
Yes, well, your heart is bigger than any physical size may let on, Bright. You are full of love and compassion. And if you will trust me, what we're going to do, I think, is going to put a new perspective on life. I have come to understand, the circumstances you've been through, and I've seen that Norallie has been through a great deal. In fact, I owe you, perhaps even such a jaunt. It would be my pleasure to escort you, my lady, as we are going to go for a bit of a ride around town.
Oh, me? Is it for something I haven't done yet?
Well, you are presumably always going to do what you're going to do. So I can say yes, but I cannot necessarily tell you for what.
Okay. Yeah, this... I mean, that only makes sense to me, so okay, let's go.
Now, if we're going to be... and by the way, he's escorting you through a series of doors here. If we're going to be going out, there's a little bit of a chill in the air, and so I would ask you, would you please wear this coat? And it's actually a rather large coat. Like, you'd have to be like 7 foot something to really fit into it comfortably.
Okay, so I don't know how to embiggen myself right now. I haven't practiced that spell in a few days. So will it fit me anyway?
Yes.
Okay, so the things that I'm bringing my spellbook and focus for sure. And, but I'm probably not bringing my pack. I'm probably just bringing a couple of little trinkets and things.
Bring whatever you'd like. We're going for roundabout.
Yes, of course. Okay.
All right. Bright, as you put on the coat, you turn into about a 7 foot tall tiefling. Horns, tail. Well, they have 5 fingers, not 4, like a dragonborn, but
That's interesting. Do I actually change, or is this an illusion?
oh, you are in fact that. And don't worry, because you're going to need that size and to stay warm, because of the ride that we're going to be taking together.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to this. This is gonna be a fun ride.
And you walk into, well, not really into, it's more out of, so much as it's part of this odd place.
I don't
into
usually
a
see things
warehouse.
from up here. There's dust on top of your bookshelves. I never even knew that.
Yes, well, that's why a new perspective is in order. And I figure
Okay.
being a 7 foot tall tiefling would help bring you a new form of enlightenment, a way to look at the
Okay.
world unlike you've ever seen it before.
Am I a boy tiefling or a girl tiefling?
Well, let's find out. Odds a boy, evens a girl. Evens. All right.
Okay. I don't have to change voices then.
Dark Wolf the sketch. Yeah, there we go. I'm presenting myself. Now, Bright, I'm probably going to be confirming something you may have already known, and I don't know if that's going to make you more depressed that you might have already known it, or that it will impress you that you might actually still have a gift. In either case, I don't think there's anyone else around, and so while you have put on a coat, I can take mine off. And, so he takes off his coat, throws it on a rubble pile. I'm strong for my age, aren't I? No, that wasn't funny? No, well, I tried. An old man like me needs...
I thought there was another part coming. I'm sorry.
Well, I suppose there
expect-
could be, but I was hoping to go for a laugh or to at least see if I could catch you unexpected. And it seems that that's the case, so perhaps you're not as cursed as you think that you are. Else
Yeah.
you would have otherwise known that, and he begins to, his skin actually begins to peel away. And,
See, this is the one I was waiting for.
and you see that underneath it, he looks like a silver dragonborn. And now we take those last 4 letters off the end of his race as he starts growing and growing.
Yep.
And his
yep.
beard,
Who called it? Who called it? It was me.
his
It
beard
was
gets
me.
more magnificent with like a set of fins. His eyes shine, and while there is a metallic luster. Sorry, I have a cat going nuts on the back of my chair here.
Just as a note, earlier I drew some dragons fighting.
Hey, what are you doing? Don't tear up my chair, please.
You're assuming you have the ownership of the chair. It has been taken.
Yeah, that's. So magnificent whiskers and all fins, and he looks. So this silver dragon looks at a 7 foot tall, so even like abnormally tall for a tiefling version of Bright, and he clears his throat. Please crawl aboard.
What was that? I couldn't hear you over the throat clearing.
Yeah. You can just climb on.
Thank you so much. I've never been able to do anything like this before, so that's okay. I hop on up.
Now we're going to fly. Are you ready?
I think so. I think so.
3, 2.
Holding on.
Jumps up and you take off into the air. And before you breach the hole in the ceiling of the warehouse, you find Bright that all of the silver scales begin to scintillate and take on the same color as the sky above, and the dragon turns invisible.
Oh, that's a new thing.
You don't, but the dragon does.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I'm okay with that. I mean, I turn invisible sometimes.
And you rise high above the streets of Mask of Horns. Now that we're up here, I mean, we have to imagine there's a little bit of wind. We have a little bit of privacy. I hope you're enjoying the view. Beautiful architecture that's sprung up over the past couple centuries.
Yeah, I mean, it's privacy in a sense. Probably more privacy for you, being that you're the invisible one. I look like I'm just flying really awkwardly, but I guess I did that last week, so it's okay.
Not uncommon, and it's, I'd rather have people question someone like you than someone like me.
Of course, that makes a lot of sense. You wouldn't want to scare everyone. No,
now that we have some clear air, I can answer private questions, perhaps, or I can offer you a particular vista, should you wish to seek something.
Oh, okay, I was only expecting to talk, so I didn't really plan an itinerary for travel, but, oh boy, it's windy up here. Thank you for the coat. I really did appreciate that. In fact, I'm going to prestidigitate the coat a little warmer. Yeah, I have lots of questions. So, earlier I mentioned Symphonics to you, and you pretended like you didn't know him, but, really?
I didn't hear you. You said, I pretend I didn't know him, but what?
Do you know him, really?
Yes, I know Symphonics. He and I go way back.
So, what's his deal? Because he seems a little bit addled. Things that he says usually. So it's kind of an interesting parallel, because I warn people about things and then the bad things happen, and then he tells us to do things and then bad things happen.
Symphonics may well be addled. He's somewhat as old as I am, although I didn't choose to hibernate of a sort. And I've stayed with this place for the whole time it's been around. He was always an inquisitive type. Perhaps got himself in a little over his head. One of the few survivors, but he decided to hunker down.
Survivors of the accident that wiped out most of your kind.
That's not an accident. You don't have to be polite with me, Bright.
I actually thought it was an accident. What happened?
It was a bit of an accident, you see. It was, Only a bit, because we didn't mean for any of this to happen. You see, back, we and the Giants, well, what you would call the Giants, we were the only
Morians,
ones
even.
really around, and we did have access to these small creatures, kept them as pets. Usually, not too hairy, a lot of bare flesh, very useful.
Humans. Yeah,
Yes.
humans. Yeah.
Those thumbs
Yeah.
really came in handy.
Really make good pets. They cause too much trouble.
Some of them hiss and spit, though. You gotta put them down, though.
No, those are cats. Cats are okay. You can keep those as pets.
Well, you call that version cats now. You should have seen some of the people that I had. Anyway. We were the ones who kept them. We gave them a good life. We sheltered them. We bred them. We gave them all that they could need in order to serve us because it was, well, it allowed us to go about doing our things. Things that we don't have to toil for as much. Supplying food or perhaps even doing some discovery or in some cases even, well, exploring new lands. You see this area, and he kind of dives up. You don't have to, I'm not asking to roll for anything here. This area was even more beautiful than it is now that you know of. And we decided to live here. Us, the Giants, watched over by the gods themselves from their own realms. And it was good. It was real good, right? Can you imagine really wanting for nothing? Snacks just all around you?
Can imagine it, but I don't think it would actually be that good.
Well, I suppose it was a different time. And I only snacked on the ones that disappointed me severely. But we had our humans, and after a while we decided there's even more we could do, and some took to experimenting on your kind.
My kind or their kind?
Yes.
Okay.
The answer to that is in the present, because of then it was the future, even though it's all in the past.
Okay.
Good. I'm glad
Speaking
you're keeping up.
Gnomish, it would make more sense in that language.
Oh yes, well I can switch to Gnomish if that helps.
Let's do that. Concepts like that are so. It's interesting, isn't it, that Gnomish has concepts of nonlinear time, even though gnomes live in linear time now.
And that's something that your ancestors never would have conceived of. That's again mostly because we kept them quite primitive and servile to us,
Yeah.
and as a food source. But that's neither here nor there. There are those amongst us who decided to try and train our pets to bring them up and to see perhaps, could we put a cute hat and vest on the monkeys and make them dance? And, well, we did.
Yeah, you can totally put hats and coats on humans. They like that sort of thing.
Yes,
And
by the way,
sometimes
are
we
you
dance.
staying warm well?
I prestidigitate the code worm. It's actually quite nice. Thank you.
Ah, good.
Not too much higher, please, because the air's getting a little thin.
Yeah, well, I wanted you to see the port. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. And did you
And-
see how this whole place looks like a mask?
So how high are we exactly?
Oh, judging by my calculation...
That's an out of character question. Sorry. I just want to
gotcha.
look and see how high.
He has you about 800 feet up.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Not terrible.
I was thinking we were like 10,000 feet
No.
up. Okay.
It's still cold and windy, but, And so some of us chose to bring up our humans and to try and teach them tricks that, for many, were beyond their care. And, well, one thing led to another, and, you were born. I know we just jumped quite a bit in the timeline, but ultimately you are the end result of everything that had happened before, Bright.
So that's... So, we always thought that okay, so I need to take a step back because we have old gnomish legends, but they're really just legends
Yes.
about how gnomes were sometimes descended from fae, but and and sometimes we've even, prior to all this nastiness, we would have fae come visit us. There would be pixies that would come and say hello, and they even kind of look like us. We all have the pointy ears. I don't know if you can see, because look, I've got my earmuffs on to stay warm, so you can't see my ears, but they're pointy. And that's kind of been the key, because the elves have the pointy ears and the pixies and the gnomes, and we always thought we were all kind of related to each other. But
Yes, it's fascinating, Bright. In fact, have you ever noticed that only humans have short, round ears, and every other race has pointed ones?
oh, not every other. There's Dragonborn.
Well, you see, you're partially mostly correct in that case. The humans that we had, we bred for a variety of purposes. Some took it upon themselves to breed cute little versions that were perhaps no bigger than the size of a child, at least to the default ones. Some wanted to call them teacup humans, but that was very...
I think the polite term is toy humans.
Well, the toy humans ended up winning the day. There are many of our kind who took to these modification programs with disdain, but there were many more vanity owners, and so they were bred for a variety of purposes: to get into smaller spaces, to be able to hunt or build. There was even a version that, well, it was a bit of a rough start. It was a bit of an in-between between the very short ones and the ones that more like you're used to. Beautiful builders. They were able to help us in many ways. Never our quality of work, but they sure tried. Gave them a set of tools, offered them in our experiments longevity. You see, humans don't live that long, Bright.
I know. That's one of the worst things about humans, because even if you find one that you really like, before you know it, they're gone.
Yes, I have outlived many a human, and some of them were extremely acceptable. And I
Outlived a bunch of them
suppose,
too.
being the sentimental old fool that I am, I guess I still collect them. Norallie being such a person. I guess I have a thing for strays. But there are more.
Okay.
In everywhere.
Composure again. Okay.
Everywhere I've gone, I've tried to help. I've tried to nudge. I could never do anything like what happened back then that caused the, well, once the human was out of the bottle, I suppose, so to speak. We taught them our ways. We taught them of magic. We taught them of faith in the gods that we believed in. We taught them a great many things. And we always suspected that our will was the strongest. We're the ones who would always endure, because dragons have always endured, Bright, for a very, very long time. And I suppose that's what ended up bringing us low. And he actually kind of goes in for a bit of a dive to help accent that.
Okay. Not too low, also. I don't want anyone to recognize me.
If anyone recognized you, that would be quite baffling.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. It's all just a lot to take in, and I'm just not used to this. It's very, very confusing. So, humans are pretty interesting, and all of the human-like races, the elves and the dwarves, they're all kind of cantankerous sometimes.
Frankly, it's our fault. They were so docile
Are some
before.
of the nicest. Yeah, they don't stay that way.
No.
And neither do the gnomes. Not if we have to. Nobody will.
And that is the blessing and the curse that your people gave yourselves. You see, your creators imbued you with a sense of that will. We instilled you with feelings of purpose. You dared to imagine that you could be anything more than a snack or a servant. Honestly, it was quite the life you all used to have. And so your audacity, your will, grew, and in fascinating and horrible new directions. You modified yourselves, you changed yourselves, not unlike what we had done to you to breed you into particular shapes or for purposes. But you took it upon yourselves to try and grow yourselves and make yourselves more powerful. And that led to our undoing. You see, we thought we knew everything. We thought we were the most powerful, the most eternal, beyond the gods, that is. And, well, tragedy struck, Bright. And as you can tell, there's not exactly a lot of us around anymore. And there's a whole lot of you.
Not that many of us, but a lot of humans and tieflings. Must have been. I mean, there's probably only 10,000 gnomes altogether, whereas there's probably that many humans and tieflings living just in this city.
No, more than that, my dear. You all do have this propensity to propagate. Now that you're no longer, held on leashes or, paired with who we think you'd be good with, you'll have taken it upon yourselves to just explode in population.
I mean, yeah. So, what was the accident? I know that there was a cataclysm when something fell in, now they call it fall fire, they probably called it something else. Is that...
From my understanding, at some point, yes. That memory is a little hazy for me. I weathered and endured it all, including our own kind being lured and slaughtered in that valley to the south. I was busy. Well, I'm an investigator myself. I've dabbled in quite a many things, and I wasn't around. Some people call it cowardice, and frankly, I do too. My people needed me, and I often wonder if I brought myself and my talents to that valley, if things couldn't have been different. And then again, now that I'm living in this day and age, if I had been there and things didn't end up the way that they did, Norallie wouldn't exist, you wouldn't exist, and...
Wouldn't exist?
All those morsels, all those people down there would just not exist.
I mean, we would still exist. I mean, I wouldn't have ever been able to read your books. I probably wouldn't have come here, so I'd have a different life, but I'd still exist. And she'd still exist. She'd probably have a very different life. She wouldn't have ever learned magic, and she might have gotten hurt on the streets, or maybe she should have, maybe things would have been more nice for her. Maybe she would have gotten married and settled down, or maybe she would have, started a business, or maybe she would have become a master thief. I don't know, but she still would have existed.
My dear, sweet, optimistic Bright, I don't understand that you can appreciate the scope of what was happening and what we'd be willing to do to stop it. No, we would be willing to eradicate humanity. We got along well enough without you before, and when you started to crawl and creep around, well, it was a divisive moment. A lot of people were too attached to their humans and everything that they offered. But it was something that was brought up to control the pest population, to keep this kind of unchecked growth, this adaptation, this... it was a problem. Cost many of my friends and family their lives. Almost all. If you count Stefanix, I suppose he's a friend. So not his, though he was affected in his own way.
Affected is definitely the word I would use as well.
Well, like you, we are all of different personalities and lifestyles. And, of course, we all succumb to various effects. Magical or more mundane.
Yeah.
Sleeping for as long as he did, I frankly don't blame him.
Hey, Um, so create a way for someone to control the human population naturally, kind of like how, so, oh, they, I heard a story about a place where they brought in many rabbits, and they brought in some wolves and things and foxes to take care of the rabbits, and then they had too many foxes. Is that kind of now with the vampires? Is that how that worked? Is that
That is more of an extension of the hubris that your people inherited from us, I'm ashamed to say. Further adaptation, to try and live as long as us, to be as powerful as us. Everything was always about us. Even us, to each other, in retrospect. I'm not the humblest person I know, but I'm pretty close. And...
yeah, humble is definitely the word.
As magic continued to weave... As magic continued to weave through your people and suffuse them and change them, even guide them away from the gods, they were looking elsewhere. That might have been why... the stone fell from the skies so long ago. As they were able to find power, perhaps conjured, perhaps summoned. I don't entirely know or understand. But things were happening, and other powers were rising. Our time was well over by then. And for the Fae, the ones, the pure Fae, that you know them, and for the old people, the ones who had dabbled with the magics of death and harnessed it for their own use to change themselves, to adapt. This force that came down, it scared them. It drove them off. We thought, I say we like there's a lot of us, we thought it was enough that they were gone, and perhaps now left alone completely, with many of the old humans driven off to other lands to maybe die off or just kill themselves with their own hubris. No. Things had settled down, but there was always this lingering presence, watching, corrupting, influencing. It couldn't have been me, or any of the rest of us. If we made ourselves known, that would be too dangerous. We'd be hunted, we'd be harvested for our blood, our bone, our skin. Skin makes for very aerodynamic flying. I don't know who'd be interested in harvesting that, but, there's people out there just
we'll make armor out of it.
Yeah, make armor, kill large beasts, and, make vehicles out of it or something. I don't know. You all are a pretty barbaric lot at times.
I mean, I don't make armor out of it.
Well, if only there was more of you, Bright.
Anything at all, if I don't have to.
Have you reproduced yet, Bright, speaking of which?
But no.
That's a pretty intense line of questioning!
You really should. You have a good heart, and I hope that you could pass on these questions and morals to others.
Yeah, I have more pressing issues right now, and now I have even more pressing issues than I had this morning. So I'm actually kind of losing ground in that category. No, I was going to, probably would have, maybe by now, but so that gift of mine, it kind of had other ideas. I warned. My name was Gerbo, and I warned him that his brother was going to be, and we went out to save him. It was him and me and both of our parents. He was always a wanderer. and he liked to wander. We post guards at the city gates, to make sure that nobody can find us and that we don't wander off if we're not supposed to.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe that's a relic of things that you did. I don't even know now. But anyway, it's just to keep everyone safe. And he wandered off, and I saw that the stream was going to flood, and he was going to be caught and drowned in the flood. So we all went out to save him, and the river flooded anyway, and he drowned, and my sister drowned too, and we lost them both, and that was tough. I mean, that was when I had to leave.
Yes. And that's what brought you here. I'm no Gerbo, and I won't claim to be, but I can appreciate his
No,
sacrifice.
you're definitely not him. Definitely not him.
Oh, poor Bright.
I appreciate his sacrifice. It brought you here so we could talk. And so I will honor Gerbo's memory as well as that of your sisters as we take this flight, and he's banking around the port.
Her name was BB.
BB.
I have 4 sisters. Yeah, BB, CC, Dee, and Gigi. Those are my 4 sisters, or what they were.
That is a wonderful standard gnomish naming convention. I remember it quite well. And you have whatever my condolences can offer you, Bright. I honestly, for as large and powerful as I am, being also an old sentimental fool, I realize that this is... The world's just changed. And I feel so powerless. Despite having immense power.
You know what that's like? I have a lot more power now than I used to. And sometimes it doesn't help. I mean, I couldn't save my friend. Wait here, that was just a few weeks ago.
I yearn for the day that my people might return, right?
Yeah, I'm sure that would for you, but I mean, there aren't that many of you left, though. I mean, could that ever even happen?
I don't know. And yet I believe that the world would be ready for us if we did. We couldn't treat you like pets or snacks. Well, some of you might be into that, but not many of you. And never has the world been so ready for the reemergence of dragons. Yet so little has our chances been to make ourselves known. These are strange times, Bright.
Yeah, very strange. So there's one race that we haven't talked about yet, and it's the humanoid dragons.
The what dragons? I didn't hear you.
Humanoid dragons.
Yes, they thought that instead of through magic, they could infuse themselves with our blood and to become dragons themselves, especially in our absence. And to a limited effect, that flesh was able to bind. We're quite adaptable, Bright. I'll have you know that.
Yeah. I know. I've heard legends. There's a disturbing number of legends that are turning out to be entirely true. I mean, there's old legends about dragons that could human form, as you've done, but they wouldn't do it just to do research. They do it, for other reasons. And then,
yes.
yeah, you know what I mean.
I do.
Hey, so we're learning lots. This has been wonderful. Not the questions I came to ask, but lots of answers. So we're making progress. Sorry, it's just because we're high up. It's not because it's upsetting news at all.
Yes. Well, answers where you didn't find them, questions where you had none before. It was... That's why you should always be open to learning. And, Bright, why you, I believe, should be open-minded to the portents that you receive. Now, I believe there's ways that you can change that. After all, your people are definitely resilient and adaptive. That's how you came to be yourselves. That's how the Dragonborn were born from dragons. Just not in that way that you were talking about before. That is how the tieflings had come into existence. Yourselves, the elves as well, those who are derivatives of the Fae. It's all the purpose of your application, Bright. Your will. Where do you wish to go from there? Our will as a people have been broken. Look around you. Our time should still be, and yet it isn't. We were the most powerful, Bright. We're the most intelligent. We are the largest and strongest, the most magical, the most godly. And now, it's none of that. We're rejects, outcasts, people displaced. By all accounts, we should even be dead, but not all of us ended up being as such.
Sorry for that. I don't think that was right either. What happened? So for snacks, have you tried bananas? I really like them, and maybe that would just solve a lot of problems.
I have had bananas, yes. For a fruit, it's not too bad. It gives you a bit of that tough exterior and a squishy interior. Reminds me of the old days.
Reminds you of nights, doesn't it? Crunchy on the outside and the chewy center.
Well, yeah, some of your people were a little tougher than others. But always that juicy center. Just goes pop right in your mouth.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm a vegetarian, so I have no experience with that. Now I'm extra double vegetarian.
Double secret vegetarian.
Okay. So. Okay. I really appreciate all these answers that you've given us. So the Fae, do you know a Fae a Fae dragon named Orlans? Or I guess he's really just like a mock dragon.
Yes, a mock dragon. Even the Fae couldn't help but try and take on our form.
Yeah. So I'm starting to. But you have heard of him?
Yes. One of the leaders amongst the Fae, very old. Not as old as I am, but not everyone can be.
Okay. Fight him? Do you know any... Does he have a weakness?
Yes, I do. A weakness that has been brought up on many occasions so far in this conversation, Bright, my dear. For you see, they have inherited our hubris, our confidence, our will. And that is the point of their being. That's exactly why they had come into existence. Why they sought power beyond even those of ours and the gods. Why they sought to reach out to other powers. And it influenced them, making them believe that they were the most powerful.
I understand. I understand a lot now.
If you can exploit that, then maybe you can do what we failed to.
I think I can. I don't know. I mean, if only I had... Oh, dear. Hard. Well, do you... Okay. I guess I just have to... It's too hard. Too hard for just me.
Yes.
I guess you know what that's like. That's the one thing probably that we have the most in common. It's too hard for just us.
You are correct, Bright. Never forget that a little forest gnome and a great silver dragon such as myself are really just the same. There's not much that we can do alone, no matter how much we want to try and help others.
Okay. thank you so much for taking me on this ride. It's been wonderful. It's it's been very educational. I'm probably the only gnome in the world that knows some of these things now. That's interesting to think about.
You're correct. I'm sorry to isolate you even more from the world.
It's okay. That part I'm getting used to.
Why don't we go back and see Norallie?
I would like that very much. So now that you've told me all these things, do you have to eat me?
I don't have to.
I'd
Do
prefer
you
if
want
you
to?
didn't. That at all. And just starting to worry. When I thought that I was the only gnome in the world that knows these things, I started to worry about it.
Oh. No, Bright, I want you to feel completely at ease. Any time that I want to destroy you, I can. And so far, I've chosen not to. And so that should
Appreciate
mean
that.
something.
It does. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, well let's go back and say hello to Norallie. Do you know anything about her funny crystal? No, it's not necessarily my business. You might not even be willing to tell me, but it sure is interesting.
Yes. Crystal is something that I haven't fully understood. I'm going to have to research it a little bit more. I think I have an understanding about what is happening, as it is related to the Fae, and I've made the results of my people's mistakes a subject of my own study. The crystal isn't so much a catalyst for her powers, but instead, her powers... Bright. I've tried to awaken and kindle these powers and understand them, as it's something that has happened after the sky burned over the Fallfire Plain so long ago. Norallie is very, very powerful, as others of her kind have grown to be. Though I suspect with her will and her just direct nature, she can apply it in a much more potent fashion. That magic that flows through her, this existence, I think that's preventing her from succumbing to the Fae's crystal. The crystal isn't affecting her, she's affecting it. She's baffled these powers that have tried to convert her into the Fae. She can suppress it, she can channel it or something. She can override this change that was trying to take her over. I don't know if she's aware of that, and I'd be careful about breaking the news, but there might be hope in Norallie, Bright, when it comes to the Fae. Perhaps even if it comes to the vampires. There's something about her that just resists, or resets, or something. She hasn't been back long enough for me to discover that.
I hope you do. I hope you find out. Ah! I swallowed a bug. Oh, that's awful.
Not really. I've kept my mouth open quite often. It's kind of tasty. I got two seagulls back there too.
Oh, it's horrible. Oh, let's get back inside as soon as we can. Oh.
Okay, so you land and go back in.
Oh. I'll take off the coat. Do I turn back into me?
Yes, you do.
Oh. Okay. Thank you for the ride, and I'm too small to help you with the coat. You'll have to do that yourself. I'm sure you can manage it.
Yes, just leave it anywhere.
Okay, I'll... Okay.
Good. Thank you.
I'll just leave
I'll
it
take
anywhere.
care of this. And he goes to the door.
Okay, thank you.
Norallie, please take care of something for me.
Yeah, what is it?
Please, there's an oversized coat here I need you to pick up, please. I don't want to hurt my back. It's already kind of achy.
Don't you have that mage hand thingy?
Yes.
Too heavy for a mage hand.
See, Bright has the right of it.
Fine, I'll go get it.
As you walk in, Norallie, Mr. Halver kind of like catches you, and he actually pulls you in for a hug. and he
I don't
pats
have
you.
Betty prepared.
And he says, Norallie, thank you. You've given me a lot to think about.
Okay.
Now please be a dear and
Related?
fetch that coat.
Okay.
Just like old times. And he wanders off.
How heavy is this coat?
It's a pretty big coat. Yeah, definitely more than 5 pounds. You could pick it up with an 8 strength, so you don't need to worry
I'm
about
gonna wrap my
that.
tail around it and just drag it in.
I'm sorry, I don't have Betty ready, or I'd have her do it for you. She's not a handy.
So now I want to start with. I mean, we can share information between Bright and Norallie, but I do want to get some Norallie content in, and especially before you got to take off here shortly, Lethality. Norallie, you are. What are you doing now that we can hear your voice? Do you want to go back and visit the old man playing games at the dockside? Do you want to pursue another avenue? What would you like to do to try and find Lokiadius?
Probably go back to the docks.
Okay.
Because he said he would ask around.
All right. Go ahead and let's see. Norallie, make an investigation at advantage. Oh, nice, 17. Nice natural 17 at that. So the old man, so you're going to use another one of your favors, and he gives you some information that he thinks he heard someone talk about someone who looks like your brother. I mean, because, tieflings can be rather unique with their coloration, horns, tail. There's a lot of other features. They can have hooves, or they can, have a split tail or whatever. Pardon. And he thinks that he heard someone who matches your brother, as he was described as having a crown of horns on his head. And so he tells you a place that he could be located, which is elsewhere in the dock district. Not the best part of town, and so this old man is going to warn you, because he's one of the contacts that he knows you. He looks out after you a bit, Norallie, or at least he's not going to want to send you into danger or dupe you. And so he tells you, if you go there, you should be very careful, ma'am. A lot of seedy stuff happens there. I don't know who your brother's hanging out with, or what he's doing, if he's there, but if you're gonna find him, he could be there, and it could mean a lot. You could be risking a lot, Norallie.
Yeah, but wherever he is, I gotta get him back. Especially if he's doing drugs, because he's gonna go blind, and then I'm gonna have to take care of him.
Well, I have heard Luciferase has been affecting our people. Just a lot has, and it's a bit of an escape.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do with that information as you will. Part of me hopes that that's not him, so you don't have to have your heart broken if he's gone down that path, Norallie. You're a good girl, I hope you know that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yes. Go on with you. Live your life. Don't let an old man sitting by the pier tell you what to do.
Alright. I'm gonna need to go get Bright.
Okay.
Because I ain't going to a shady part of town by myself.
Okay.
Bright, are you busy?
Come on in, I guess.
Okay.
You come in, and Bright is curled up on her bed, and she's crying. She's very sad.
Bright, what's
And
wrong?
she's also snuggling Piggy Sue, although you don't necessarily know why.
Oh. Bright, are you okay?
No,
What happened?
I got really bad news today.
Oh, what happened? What? Is this something you can talk about?
Yes, but it's gonna take me a few hours to process it. Maybe something more might help right now. Is there someone I can cast a fireball at?
Oh, actually, I need to go to a bad part of town because someone said my brother might be there, so I was hoping you would come with me so I didn't have to go alone.
Oh, a bad part of town. That sounds. I mean, not actually, but yeah. Let me make sure I have the right spells prepared. I mean, I do. I mean, I have standard spells for this section of the story, so yep, I'm ready. I guess I just have to let me get a drink of water, and have a little snack. Maybe some peanuts would be nice.
Work it all out, right, by killing them all. Selene approves.
Okay, yeah, I guess I'm ready.
That's a good idea.
Sure, we can go places. I'm ready. I have some of my spells and some of my other spells. I guess I'll cast Mage Armor right now, because it's... What time of day is it?
This is... We're in narrative time. This could be first thing in the morning. This could be at an evening. Really, this isn't over a series of days that you could be doing this.
Okay. Alright, well, I'll cast Mage Armor then, and we can go out looking.
I'll cast it when we're closer to the area, just in case I don't know how far it is. Alright, we got our mage armors.
Okay. So you help button up each other's, or zip up each other's mage armor, and you're all ready to go out on the town. Making your way to the dock district. Let's see. What did I call it? I think I stowed away. I think I stowed away the dockside. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
So the port district's going to look a lot like Lake Red Eye, so just, you know.
Yeah, they all look the same.
Yeah.
So, Norallie, before we go, I have to tell you that I actually don't have Fireball ready today. That doesn't mean I can't fight, though. I just feel like it's not a good choice for a city environment. It is too much collateral damage. So if I have to fight, it'll probably mean...
Well,
probably
we
mean
don't have
summoning
to fight.
elementals.
But,
Yeah,
if
but I
we
just wanted you
do-
to know. Because in case something bad happens and you're like, cast a fireball, I'm going to be like, yeah. So, just so you
That's
know.
fine. I can do my lightning-y thingy.
And I have other stuff I can shoot, just not that
Or
one right now.
we could just turn invisible and run away too. That's possible.
Yeah, that's worked well for us. Can you make that permanent by any chance?
I don't. That'd be fun. Just always being invisible.
Yeah, I would really like that.
All right. Dockside.
All right. So you're going to go looking around based on the information that was given to you.
Yep.
Go ahead and one of you can make an investigation at advantage because you're both looking out for the same person.
Probably Bright.
I'll do it. 18.
Oh, nice. So yeah, you did hear, or some people say, yeah, that there was someone who looked like that. That was, I think he was around that district, kind of pointing a little bit down. Was with a group of people. They were several of them. They came back from a boat trip. I guess they're looking for something. They seemed rather shady, but then again, who isn't around here? Unfortunately, this isn't the best part of town.
Yeah,
Shady
he's
and-
kinda shady. That's
Shady and boat
probably
trip.
him.
That sounds like a good combination for us.
Well, it's a good thing we didn't leave because they came right back.
Wonder where they were going. It probably wasn't just like a fishing trip. They probably, I don't know, maybe
no,
they're
fish is
maybe
really
they're
good.
pirates.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, maybe.
All right.
Thanks. We gotta keep looking.
You begin your investigations, and the sights and sounds and smells, especially the smells here, of the city are just... Everything seems to just get kind of darker. The shadows are longer. The buildings are kind of just hunched. They're not like standing tall and in the best of shape. Almost like just a bunch of people huddled over the road, sharing secrets. The ships creak and groan. The water laps silently, but there's some dead fish floating in it and a bit of a smell. Even the seawater, as vast as the sea is, should be fresh and flowing. And on this side, too, on the west side, all the ocean water is kind of coming into the inland sea. But something's just stagnant here. A lot of people are keeping to themselves. As you walk past, kind of... Maybe they continue talking, but they hide their mouths. A couple people are working to load or unload ships as well. But for the most part, people seem to be minding their business. There's no sign of law enforcement anywhere around. Beyond, unless someone is sort of like a heavy private security guard to secure some wares or is an enforcer of some kind.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and use a disguise self to turn into another little tiefling girl, little slightly less ragamuffin than the last one.
Okay.
So not totally hopeless, but still pretty ragamuffin-y. I don't look exactly like Norallie this time because that would be confusing, but let's make it a family resemblance. We can be cousins.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you've done something like that before, so it's not too difficult here.
For my mask, this time it's the comedy tragedy mask, but one on each side.
Okay. You now have a location where your brother has been seen, at least by people who can identify him by his rack of horns. And it's in a building that would be somewhat like the one you're staying in with Mr. Halver, at least on the outside, where it is kind of an abandoned, tumble-down building, probably rather unsafe. Although where your other neighborhood was more just sort of like an abandoned one, not necessarily like, creepy criminal. It was just sort of, just burnt out and abandoned. I don't know if there's a huge difference, but this one definitely has a lot more people who prowl through it of a more nefarious main. But you're pointed to a building, and someone says, "Yeah, your brother's in there."
You know who that is?
Your brother is Lokiadius, yes?
Yeah. That's it. I just call him Loki.
He's in there.
Okay. You're gonna go in there.
Tug.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't go in just yet. Maybe we should look around first.
You're right. I'm gonna turn both of us.
Oh. Oh.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a d20, please.
Please don't explode. I mean, normally it's fun, but right now I don't want you to.
Unless you want to let it out.
No.
Okay. All right, so a 5 doesn't let the magic peek through. You close the door in time.
We're invisible.
Okay. You two are invisible.
Okay.
We're gonna...
Let's stay holding hands so we don't get separated, being as we're both invisible. And
Okay.
All right, you're making your way in the building.
We're probably gonna investigate, like, is there any windows or anything?
Yeah, there's a lot of like broken windows and just some loose masonry. The door to this place is kind of hanging on its hinges.
okay,
Part of a
So-
few chimneys.
conjure up Peggy Sue, and look how little she is. She fits through the broken window. Please go in there and just let me take a look around. Watch out for spiders and things that would eat you. But otherwise, yeah, I'll just be watching. And if you get into trouble, I'm sure no one's gonna step on you, cause look at it. But if there's a spider or a cat or something, I'll call you right back. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
So Peggy Sue goes in. You're looking through her antennae and such.
Well, mostly her eyes,
Well, yes.
but yeah, also the antennae.
Okay. Inside the building, Peggy Sue sees that there is one person who is sitting on a pile of crates with his back to the front door.
Does he appear to be?
Is he purple?
Yes.
Purple, purple rack of horns, and you could tell because you see points underneath like a hood, but a couple of them have kind of come through the ragged cloth, and you can see just a bit of a purple tail hanging out over the side of the crates from beneath this long ragged robe. But otherwise, the person just has a hood up and is facing away from the front door.
Oh, I have good news and bad news. Which do you want first?
Let's go with bad news first.
Okay, so the bad news is this is horrible. It's that your brother's in there.
Okay.
So I'll have Peggy Sue crawl maybe along the ceiling or in the crack of the wall or something where she can get a better look at his face.
Okay.
Okay. You
100
you
foot
position
range.
Peggy Sue. You have 100 feet on her,
100
correct?
feet, yeah, 100
Okay.
feet. 30 feet to summon, but 100 feet communication.
Okay, nope. You can maneuver Peggy Sue in that 100 feet. And unless you're getting Peggy Sue super close, he's sitting on the crates and his hands are covering his face, but you can see purple hands and long fingernails.
Okay, so, he's in there. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Detect Magic as well. This will be a spell, not a ritual. Okay, he's in there. He's just kind of in there. He's just sitting in there doing nothing. So, Detect Magic is on, just so in
Mhm.
case. Is there anything standing out?
Nope.
Well, let's go in.
Okay.
He's your brother.
I'm gonna just slowly open the door. Step it. Loki?
I
Okay.
poof Peggy Sue away.
Doesn't respond to you, Norallie.
I'm going to approach.
Okay.
I'm just gonna lightly tap him on the shoulder.
Forget you're still invisible.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. As you're walking into this abandoned building, I can hear you.
Loki, what's going on?
Norallie. You should not be here.
Well, yeah, but you're here, so...
And I told you not to follow me.
Yeah, but you said that like 2 months ago, so I don't think it applies anymore.
Norallie, I need you to leave now. You are in danger.
Well, what's so dangerous?
There is a dangerous person behind you, Norallie.
You gotta look behind me.
Okay. You turn around and you look behind you. And from your now behind, oh my gosh, cat. Seriously. Ugh, trying to have a moment. My gosh, cat.
He thinks the scene's gonna be too dramatic. You need to make it fluffier.
14's not your AC, correct?
Nope.
From behind you, at least what now is your behind after you turn around to the door, 2 bolts of force fly out and impact the ground behind you, sending just little shards of splintered wood from the floor up around you. I told you, there's a dangerous person behind you, Norallie.
That's a mean trick. Okay. We don't gotta fight.
You
Also, that's cool. That was a magic thing. You couldn't do that before.
don't understand, Norallie. You're right, I couldn't do that before, and I'll tell you, I've paid the price for the gift. I
I've done that. You
am
don't pay for things
paying
usually.
the price for the gift. I can't have you here. Yet, we are too dangerous for you. Norallie, please, go.
Are you gonna be alright?
No, Norallie. I can never be all right again. Not ever. I know how this is going to end. And it won't be all right, Norallie.
Ooh. Okay, you gotta be alright though. We only got each other, you know?
12 points of force damage as you're slammed by one of his force bolts.
See, rolling a jeez.
Which this thing comes tearing through the darkness at you, a mass of flesh and gears, and it hits you. before dispersing and evaporating away. There's no we, Norallie. Not a we as in you and me. There's something else now. Greater. Needier. It can never be you, but it will always be me. Always, Norallie.
Well, that's how you feel.
Feel? 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 She says feel. She said feel. He's kind of looking around at seemingly nothing. That's how it is. Norallie, it is. There's no feeling. There's no thought. There's reality. Cold. Hard. Reality. It's something I've tried to keep you from for your own good. Maybe for mine. And now that I've seen what reality is, now that I know, reality doesn't care, Norallie. It doesn't love. There's no room for that. You have to do what must be done because it already has. It's all been done before. Then and now. We've had this conversation. I've gone over it 10 times, Norallie, already. You don't fit in to my plans. Our plans, Norallie.
You used to fit in before. No? See why everything has to be different.
Because change is inevitable, Norallie. Change happens. Those who seek it, those who don't, it happens all the same. And you have to live with what happens, Norallie. You have to. I don't know how to make you understand unless I make you understand. Another force bolt rips out of his hand and damages the floor once more. It's already starting to creak and look pretty bad because this is a decrepit place.
No, throw it. Fourth.
Go ahead and roll your d20 as well. Unless you want it to happen.
Give it to me.
You want it? Roll a percentile. $87. You cast Fly on a random creature within 60 feet of you. And, so that would be, you have Bright and you have your brother. And we'll see if there's anything else.
Peggy Sue got poofed away. She's not here.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright.
You cast as you cast Thunderwave on your brother. You also channel your magic through, and you imbue him with the power of flying. Although Norallie, you probably wouldn't
That just
understand that.
sounded back.
And your Thunderwave absolutely blasts your brother back, like, through the roof, like 60 feet.
Hey, well, that was impressive.
It just goes boom.
I'm glad I let you two have that moment alone, rather than standing too close.
I gotta be careful about it.
Oh, has he come down yet, or is he still flying?
He's gone?
Those towering home runs where it's just like, woo. Okay. Does this mean you have to go looking for him again? Because it took a really long time before. It's up to you. How do you? What do you want to do? I mean, it was mean of him to shoot all those force bolts, so I don't really blame you. But oh no,
Maybe we should go talk.
do you need me to help you fly after him? I have my fly spell if you need it.
No,
Okay. Well, let's just go
we
looking
should
for him
just
then.
go. No, we should go home.
Home? But
However.
you came all this way. You looked for him for months. You can't just give up.
No, he needs some time.
He's had all the time he could possibly want. He doesn't need time. He needs his sister. You're probably the only one who can save him.
Well, I don't know how to do that. So we should go
Yeah.
talk to Mr. Halbert.
Yeah, that's not as comforting as you might expect, as it turns out.
Well, he'll probably know something to do. He's not like that.
Yeah.
He's smart and he.
Yeah, he's smart for sure. Smart is not the question, but I mean, you've come all this way.
Loki. It wasn't him.
Looked like him, and he seemed to know you.
Yeah, but that wasn't him. He's not like that.
What he has isn't good for him. I mean, you remember, I saw those force bolts and they looked just like Jade's. And you know what happened to Jade, and how she was. She didn't used to be like that. You saw you were there when she turned into how different she was. So it's not a surprise that whoever they've got their power from does that.
But we could figure out how she got back to normal, or somewhat normal, and we can bring Loki.
And with Jade, it was just she changed forms, and when she changed forms, she took the mental aspect too. It wasn't just the appearance. But I don't know if that's how it works for Loki. And anyway, only Jade could do that to herself. You remember when Celine tried to change her forcefully, and it went all wobble wobble. I don't think we want to do that with Loki. That would be the worst. I think you just have to talk to him. I don't think there's a choice. I mean, it's up to you.
Well, he doesn't want to talk, so.
So, do you remember last week, or I mean, actually, not even last week, just like 3 or 4 days ago, I had to go save a guy who was from his parents. It's just like that. He's hiding from you, but that doesn't mean he doesn't need you. I should maybe look in on them and make sure he didn't, kill them or something while I was away. But that was what he needed, and I think it's what your brother needed too. They were both on Luciferus. It does bad things. Maybe the Luciferus is even what changes him. Just don't think you should give up on him.
I'm not giving up. I need to process. need to talk to someone who might know how to help.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and use my portent for 15, and I have no bonus to that, so it's just a 15. Hmm. Okay. I'll just go over and read the note. Norallie, um, note. I can't read it. I don't know this language.
I'll go read it. Also, Maddie, you might be muted.
I'm not muted on Discord,
Oh,
but
there we
maybe
go.
on the
Yeah,
stream.
sorry, there was a... I must have forgot to restore it after I blew my nose there. All right. All right, well, for everyone out there, there's a
I'll read the
note.
note.
There we go.
I'll read the note.
Norallie, I can only write this to you in a brief window of... And it trails off. I can't call it sanity. The Luciferus helps. It keeps the voice suppressed. I'm sorry, Norallie. I made a mistake, and at the same time, I don't think that I can, or that I have. It feels like this was meant to happen. I am probably not myself if you're reading this, but I left it in my moment of lapse from it when I could communicate. There are things that I must do to pay for the gift I've been given. I wish I could have been more like you, and I'm sorry that I'm not. I don't even know if I'm your brother anymore, if I'm allowed to be your brother. Maybe when this is done, it is done with me, I can see you again as a brother. Please. Please don't follow me, Norallie. I don't know what will happen. Especially not with Grimhilder. Maybe the others. I'm dangerous. They will be more so. If you love me, you'll stay away. Loki.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna fold up the note, but not tell Bright what it says.
Okay.
What did it say?
I can't tell you right now.
Okay. I know it's private. I just think you should go after him. Do I see any tracks or anything, or did he fly out of here?
He was blown out as far as you observed. Norallie cast a spell, and he was just launched out the roof.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do this anyway. It's against my better judgment.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast an arcane eye and have it go where I saw him and just see if I can see anything that looks like it might be his tracks or him. That would be nice. But anything that looks like a clue as to where he would have gone.
There are some people going around that look like they might be him. But they're kind of mulling about doing a job or just sort of lurking outside of a building.
I'll zoom in for a closer look. There's no
Eye comes
holes,
down.
though.
It's invisible, but
Yeah.
you don't see him around.
Afraid of that. Well, Norallie, it's your choice. I think you should go after him. If you want to go home, we'll go home.
Yeah. We should go home for now, but I'm not gonna completely give up.
Hey,
Just if I can keep tabs on him, to make sure he's not in too much trouble.
I've been working on a spell that'll do that. Do you have anything that belongs to him?
He probably left stuff in his room.
I've been working on a spell that'll help, but I don't know it yet.
Well, whenever you get that dog, it would be really helpful.
Yeah. Maybe we'll even find out what happened to Mordecai and Celine. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you returning?
Yeah, we're gonna go back to see Mr. Howard.
You exit the building, and as you do so, Norallie, you're in a bit of a pout right now, and you bump into someone who is walking past this building, and you kind of look up. And you go to say sorry, and it's a woman dressed like a lot of others here, kind of a cowl and a hooded cowl here. And you can see that there's just this shock of vivid but dark red hair underneath it. And as this woman looks down at you, her eyes almost seem to just have a fire inside of them. Hey! Watch where the honk you're walking!
Well, then I'm not sorry.
You should recognize her.
What?
She was here. She was part of his adventuring party when we passed before.
You are correct now that she is talking and she's getting a little riled up. It's a stupid kid like you doing in the warehouse district anyway.
That's none of your business now, is it?
I suppose it's not.
I cast darkness.
Yeah, that's a tiefling thing.
Yep.
I had to deal with that earlier.
And
Now I can't see.
I'm a grab for where I think Bright is. Did you drop invisibility?
Well, I haven't been invisible for a while. It only lasts a minute. Also, I cast a spell.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab Bright because I wouldn't know where she is before I cast this, and I'm just gonna lead her out.
Bright, do you want to be pulled along by Norallie?
Yeah, I'm not gonna try to fight that, but I'm gonna say, Norallie, this is Grimhilder. She knows Loki. She's Loki.
And all right, you're saying that as you're running?
Yes.
Okay. As you run out of this bubble of darkness with Bright behind you, there's a couple people in the piers that are like, what? But I mean, darkness is not exactly a super, super uncommon among your people here.
Yeah. I mean, Norallie can't see in the darkness either, which just keeps us from getting separated.
Yeah. You look back, Norallie, and those eyes. You don't see the eyes, but you see the fire. And you see that they seem to narrow, and you almost swear there's like a white smile just beneath these two little candlelight flames staring at you through the darkness. Norallie? Norallie? Oh, Norallie, I'm so sorry. Oh, you're the Norallie. Run along. Run, Norallie. Run away. And the two flames seem to go out as Grimhilder turns in the darkness and casually saunters out.
I don't remember her being that insane. Definitely new. Maybe she just didn't talk much before.
She didn't.
Alright. Let's go find Mr. Halver. We need to...
Okay with the way that happened?
Yeah, that's fine. We need to plan. The real Loki would plan, so we're going to plan.
Yeah. Okay.
Right,
I don't always understand you.
You can make
okay.
one more perception.
Well, I'm not going to use my second portent because it's a 1. So I have to roll this one. 8.
Okay. Nope, that's you run out of the darkness, Norallie's, we got a plan, the real Loki would plan, and you're trying to dodge other people. Like, oh, hey, watch where you're going.
It's up to you.
I just beeline it for the dining room and just sit down like this.
Okay.
I don't really know what really do is.
Mr. Halver doesn't seem to be around right now.
Did he tell you he's gonna leave?
He didn't really specify. He said
Did he say no?
He didn't say he was gonna stay. He said he had, it's always kind of vague with him. I think he's, I don't think he's like going on a long road trip, but he said that he wasn't getting anywhere. He was connecting some lines on some paper. I don't know if they're still here, but he said he wasn't getting anywhere with that and he wanted to go places. So he might just be wandering the city. I don't know, maybe he'll be back tonight or tomorrow. We don't know.
I didn't get his, long back. Alright. Let's plan. We need to figure out how to undo that, because that's something that Jade had, and well, Jade was able to be normal for a little bit, but the only way
that's just how it worked for Jade.
Way that it might be, but maybe there's a way that we can undo it, or
I don't think it can be undone. I mean, wherever Jade got her power, it wasn't from a god even. It was from something, I don't know that I want to say more powerful, but definitely weirder. Or what Celine had with what Jade had, and you can see that Jade's power had much more hold over her. And where Celine was a servant, Jade was it wasn't even just being a servant. It was way more intense than that. So it can be undone. I think once it would be like getting Celine to stop worshiping Ouijas. You couldn't do it. So
What's not so?
I don't think it can be undone. Jade was able to turn it off for just a little while, but
Well, with
even
Celine,
though,
that's something she wants to do. This it's not something that he wants. He doesn't want that. He wanted to be strong, but he didn't want that. And if it's something he doesn't want, then something that we can undo.
I don't know if that's actually the case.
I think that'll
I
be the
don't
case,
know.
because that's not the case, then I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do either. Although I would have been happy to fight
think we
Grimhilder. That would have been okay with me.
Yeah, but it's just the two of us, really, and
Twice as many as there are of her.
yeah, but we don't know what she's capable of. Loki was really strong, and now it's just him.
You might have an idea from the lumberjack camp.
Okay, I need a plan. I'm gonna go into the study area and just start grabbing books at random.
I've been pretty reluctant to poke around in the library. It's definitely not been my priority. But if Norallie finishes with them, I might leaf through them a little. Norallie, what are you looking for?
I don't really know. Something that will tell us a little bit about what's happening with Loki. Like, and he got his powers from something, and maybe we have information about that something here, or maybe a case that could be done. Mr. Halbert does a lot of studying with magic, so he might have something. And he's not here to tell us which books, so we're just gonna have to search through books that sound right.
You sure it's okay to just go through his books?
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Okay. Still a little uneasy about that. I'm only gonna look through books that Norallie has looked through.
It's gonna be a kind of mixed expression. Like, she's focused, but she's also kind of tearing up. She doesn't like want to do this right now, but she's still focused on doing it right now. Mm-hmm. You might be muted again.
Oh, we'll leave the session here with you two close in the library, alone together, as oxymoronic as that sounds. Norallie with tears in her eyes, Bright with a concerned look on her face, and probably holding a little bit of a dam, holding back some of hers for other or similar for as far as I know reasons. As you're back and processing what's happened. And so to you two, Norallie, Bright, and to Selter and Mordecai, and by extension, Celine, who's setting up the stream with the Gathering of Nerds, I appreciate you all being here for another Tuesday session, and I hope that you enjoyed your parts to play as the story continues to unfold. And perhaps even as the two groups are drawing nearer together. And for everyone out there who was watching, especially when I was unmuted and capable to narrate to you, thank you for your time this evening to hang out with us. We'll stick around and have a little bit of table talk, as I'm going to wait until Gathering of Nerds goes live, and we're going to go over and get them a good MattyMorgs raid. But I hope that you enjoyed it, and you laughed, you were following along, you had some good fun moments, and maybe even some more poignant ones as well.
I had the perfect track going for that scene.
Oh?
Because there was no sound going.
Correct, there
I
was no
am
sound going.
so sorry, Dark Wolf. I'm so sorry. Are you kidding? This is pretty much exactly my fault.
Couple of tracks from Battle Bards is what I was playing.
Oh, damn.